On VAT, you revealed a poster saying that the Tories were going to drop a tax bomb. Do you still stand by that claim?
Absolutely. I don't think it is possible in this time when money is tight, when everybody knows you can't have something for nothing, to make a whole series of tax promises. And the Conservatives are promising tax breaks to millionaires in inheritance tax, tax breaks to some married couples, a freeze on council tax, tax breaks to small businesses and so on and so forth, and not spell out how you're going to pay for them. Our plans don't require. We have no reason to raise VAT because we've done our sums, if you like. And I think as long as the Conservatives have not done their sums, they must know the only way they're going to make up the numbers is, of course, to increase VAT.
You costed their tax policies at £13.5 billion, I believe. Of that, their plans to recognise marriage in the tax system at £5 billion. The plans that they've unveiled, much less than that, 10% of that at £500 million. So is that poster now incorrect? Can you withdraw that claim now?
Of course, things have changed. Because since we first made our estimates of the information we had available to us, the Conservatives have provided a little bit of detail about one of their tax promises, which is the marriage tax concession. It still leaves billions of pounds of tax promises in the Conservative proposals unfunded, and I still think that can only really be made up if they raise VAT.
This poster, though, it has sort of laid you open to allegations of playing these old politics games, these politics that you say are corrupt, and you're playing the same game, though, aren't you?
Well, I think if politicians aren't being straight with people and trying to promise something for nothing, I don't think it's wrong for us to say, hang on a minute, that's not on. You can't, when money is tight, pretend to people they're going to have something for nothing, and I don't apologise at all for saying in fairly forthright terms that when money is tight, when everybody knows there's this huge black hole in the public finances, you can't go around treating people like fools and pretending that they can have great tax breaks when you haven't spelt out how you're going to pay for them. And that is why the proposals we made this morning are so important, because we're saying, yes, here we are going to deliver a fair tax break so that you don't pay any tax on the first £10,000 you earn, but it needs to be paid for. And we have spelt out in meticulous detail where we would find the money.
And you say, just briefly, that you're going to bring, you're going to raise the tax allowance to, personal allowance to £10,000, taking out, you say, 3.5 million people from the tax system. A, the wealthy are going to pay for that, and B, is that really fair? I mean, shouldn't everyone contribute in some way?
I think it is wrong that we have a tax system under 13 years of Labour where the bottom 20% of people, those who have the most modest earnings or people on middle incomes, are paying more in tax as a proportion of their income than the people at the top. It should be the other way around. Of course, you don't want to go after the wealthy in any sort of vindictive way. All we're saying is there shouldn't be one rule for people at the top who can exploit great loopholes in the tax system by employing an army of lawyers and accountants, and another rule for everybody else. The rules should be the same for everybody else. And in doing that, we would generate money which would allow us to give a fair tax break to the millions of people who need money back in their pockets.
Well, that was the Liberal Democrat leader Nick Clegg talking to our colleague Sophie Long. Now, throughout this election campaign, our correspondents will be travelling around the country to look at the issues that concern voters locally. Louisa Baldini is out and about in the constituency of Gillingham